It's Saturday, August 31st, 2024. I'm TC Kirkham, and this is the Kirkham Report.
TC Kirkham, the Kirkham Report.
Hey all, TC Kirkham here, the TKR Video Central and the Kirkham Report. Welcome. Going to be another rambling show this week because I got a bunch of stuff that's been going on that I want to let you know about. I do have some new pickups from Dawn and Mary, Two Hip Chicks. We'll go over those next week. I have some other stuff coming up. But I want to tell you what I was talking about on my community page last week. It's really messed up what I do, and it's really upset me because we had no warning whatsoever. About 2 weeks ago, I started having trouble grabbing videos that I need for my countdown shows. These shows, not all of them, but most of them, depend on my being able to find the music that I don't have. And YouTube is the easiest way to do that because I can grab it and it'll download quickly and I can have it so I can use it on the shows. The recording system, the downloaders, have not been working right for the past 2 weeks. I have one that's built into the browser and two that are separate programs. All of them are having the same issue. We've been doing some checking with various forums and such on these programs, and everyone is having the same problem. That is saying to me that YouTube, it is somehow implementing something that makes it very difficult to download stuff unless you use the download button, which is useless for what I do. So it's going to affect a number of my programs, and it's screwed up my schedule entirely because I have been unable to download stuff. I can download maybe 2 or 3 songs and then it'll stop and I have to wait 2 or 3 hours, and that's just with one program. The other two won't work at all. So it does affect what I'm doing. Now, it is not going to affect, because see, I mean, the thing that pisses me off, these are my most watched shows. The countdown shows, the various, music shows. Not what I host, the ones I don't host, mostly. It is affecting most of those. Although, it is not going to affect the show that I have that is currently my most listened to show, which is the Classic Charts Countdown. I use my personal collection for that. I grab individual graphics for that, and I do it in a different way than I do all the other shows. So that is not going to be affected. If I don't have something there, I have it in my collection and can digitize it. The other stuff, not so much. Now, it won't affect flashback tracks right away. I've got another 5 shows worth of songs already downloaded, which will take us to the end of the Record World series. After that, I don't know where it's going to go yet either. It is drastically affecting the Radio Retro Countdown because I rely on the ability to download almost every song on those radio charts I select. I usually don't have them. Some of them I've never heard of. And it is drastically affected. So as a result, there will be no Radio Retro this week again. I have a list of stuff that I was going to do last week, and that's when this problem started, and I still have not been able to download all the songs. It is really, really maddening. Now, all three of my programs are working, trying to get around whatever YouTube has done that's screwing them up, but I think YouTube is doing it deliberately. If they are, that's, within their rights. It's part of the terms of service, I suppose. But what I do isn't harming anyone. I don't monetize my channel. My idea is to get people to hear it and see it and like it and try it out themselves. So that's where that stands right now. It could affect the Pop 50 challenge also. I often don't have every song on that show, especially if it's an earlier chart. So I may have to tweak that, and it may go away for a week or two as I'm tweaking it if this problem can't be resolved. But it is, I am aware of ways around it. I can do stuff that I have in my collection, but I won't be able to do it on a year-by-year thing. I might have to go to a topic thing or something I know I have enough of. And then I'm going to, because I do similar to the Classic Charts Countdown, so it's easy to do that way. I can figure out something for it. It is also going to affect one of my premiere shows, Label Nova. Quite often, I do not have, Label Nova's been off for 8 months. It was supposed to return this week, but I haven't been able to download anything. Because I often don't have the crazy stuff that's charted or whatever, and I like to bring whole looks at you. Now, on that one, I have an alternative. I have 2 or 3 programs that can record off the internet. So I can record the songs there. But that takes an enormous amount of time. Time I usually do not have, which is why Radio Retro can't be done, because that'd be like 4 or 5 hours of recording for every show. I just don't have the time for that. I work a full-time job, and I have so much that I do already, in addition to new stuff I'm introducing. It's a very frustrating situation. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about Label Nova, and Too Soon may also be affected, which is set to premiere in a couple weeks. It is not going to affect the newest of the programs, which is Saturday Night Disco Party, which premiered last week. I'm really happy with how that show turned out, and I've gotten some good word of mouth on it, had a good number of listens on it. I do have another couple shows premiering over the next couple of weeks that won't be affected by it, because I am literally digitizing those. Oh, excuse me. But it's been a very frustrating 2 weeks, because these countdown shows, which are the easiest shows I do, and well, they're not the easiest, but they are one of the simplest, because I have it down to a science, editing and such. They've been thrown for a loop. I'm not the only... every channel that does this kind of stuff, and there are a lot of them, have been affected by this issue if they download stuff to use, and most of them do. It's been a very frustrating situation. The one thing that it's going to affect as far as Saturday Night Disco Party goes is I don't have 12-inch versions of a lot of the songs I'm using. I do have some, and I have been using them. But I'm trying to make that show a mix of 7 and 12-inch mixes. And as I deplete my 12 inches, I won't have any way to replace them. So if you guys have any digitized 12-inch singles from the 70s and early 80s that you could shoot my way on MP3, I'd greatly appreciate it. Let me know. It's been a rough week that way, and I'm, my schedule was just starting to fall into place, and then all this happened. And every time, when you make plans, God laughs, as they say. And that's the way this whole last year has been with me. But every time I make progress right to the edge, boom, something happens, and this is out of my control, unfortunately. I am, keeping diligently involved with with these programs that I use. And as I said, I do have a couple that I can record with. Dawn and I have talked about a couple of solutions as well. And I will get around them. I will figure out solutions. If some of the shows have to go away in favor of something new that I can do with what I got, that so be it. That's what's going to happen. But I do feel badly, particularly because the Radio Retro gets so many good comments, and it's so fun to do. And because every corner of the world has its own local radio charts, and every corner of the world has its own different tastes. I mean, that one from Australia I did from '81 had Time Warp by the Rocky Horror Picture Show at #1. That was really something. These are always fun to do and fun to go through, fun to source. I've found a lot of stuff I've never even heard of on those. And I'm going to miss doing that if I have to give it up, because it's been a lot of fun. We'll see what happens. Hopefully the programs I use will fix whatever is wrong, and they will go back to working again, and we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, as I said, I did premiere a brand new show. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I did premiere a brand new show last weekend called Saturday Night Disco Party. This Saturday Night Disco Party is the only show that airs at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Pacific, and it is up later today. You can catch it if you haven't seen it yet. One other thing I was going to do this week on the show, which I'm not going to do now, is announce the 2025 home of Eurovision. It was announced yesterday that Basel, Switzerland, will be the home of Eurovision. We'll have the formal announcement next week. And, of course, Junior Eurovision this year is still coming up in November, so I'll be giving that extensive coverage as we get into the fall. Those songs should start appearing any time after tomorrow. I am going to have most of the other shows back to normal this week. All of the SoundCloud stuff, Mixcloud stuff should premiere this week also, I'm hoping. I've been saying that for the last month, but I'm at that point, except for the download issue, where I'm ready to launch everything. I'm hoping over the next couple of weeks I'll be able to finish the renovations in the office, give you guys a room tour, show off everything, have access to the CDs again, and get things rolling. But if not, you know how it is. You know how I am. I do so much that I don't have time to do everything sometimes, and you guys don't seem to mind, and I really appreciate that. You know I'm going to have a lot of cool stuff when it does finally get completely finished. Shows are up every day at 11, 4, and 7, and on certain days at 11 p.m. also on Saturday. There will be some coming on SoundCloud, Mixcloud, I keep saying SoundCloud, on Mixcloud that are slightly different time-wise. But we'll see. And I have a bunch of new stuff coming. That'll be alternate week shows. I'm alternating a new show with Kim's show and doing some other stuff. So hopefully that will take place next week, in the next 2 weeks at least. And I'm also getting organized, getting things listed in Discogs again, which I hadn't been doing for the last couple of months, although I still have, 5 or 6 boxes of 45s I've bought from Dawn and Mary that aren't in there yet. And next week I hope to have a lot more stuff. I know I have another package from Dawn and Mary coming. I have this week's package from Dawn and Mary coming. I have a couple of other things coming. So next week should be full of regular pickups and stuff, and regular reports and stuff, and not me just rambling about all the damn issues I have. I can't thank enough of you for saying how much you enjoy the site. I had somebody write to me this week about the charts and how different they were, and how they used to do their own charts, and how they wish they'd kept them all. That was really cool. And yes, I know those charts on the website are in terrible handwriting. I'm working on getting them replaced with formally typed stuff. And of course, the Missing Years project is still coming, where I'm going to fill in what all the missing years on my chart. So I'd hope to start that this week, but probably going toward the end of the year now, because it's just too much crazy stuff going on. And I have a lot more stuff to do. Anyway, you've listened to me ramble for 15 minutes. I'm sure you don't need to listen to me ramble anymore. I am working on things. Things are, you'll see things pop up from time to time on my channel. Regular stuff, special stuff. I hope you'll check out Saturday Night Disco Party if you haven't done so already. I hope you'll check out a new show called Full Play, which should premiere next week sometime. These are going to be full albums of weird stuff or unusual stuff from my collection. And I hope you'll get a kick out of those. I hope everybody will continue to watch and subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you have, thank you. Don't forget to share. I'd appreciate your support on Patreon. We would really like to get that going. And, of course, leave a comment. Your comments are what keeps me going. Your encouragement when all these issues show up is what keeps me going. I really appreciate that. In any case, next week, I swear, we'll have a regular TKR show, and most of the regular shows will be back over the next week, so I hope you'll be checking them out. And I'll be dropping notes when things go on and when things change, and a continuing progress on this issue on the community page, where I hope you'll check it out. In any case, thanks for listening to me ramble this week on the Kirkham Report. I'm TC Kirkham. I hope everyone has a wonderful 3-day weekend if you're off on Labor Day, and if not, like I am. If you're not, I'm sorry. But I still hope you have a great weekend and a very good week next week. Until next time, I will see you on the interwebs. Ciao, baby.